If you don't think ham radio is a contact sport, you need to come hang out with LCARA Ham Radio. Hello, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP. Well, we're back down in McCreary County again today, doing some hopefully final testing of what we like to call zone number 2. This is the midpoint of the race. Zone 1 is in the morning, the first 4 stages, and zone 2 brings in a few more stages, and then zone 3 we finish up with stages 7 through 10 in the later afternoon. So we're back here at the Airbnb putting up our very nice but lightweight aluminum tower. Really great find for that. Really helps us get the net control zone here up in the air with the antenna to give us even better reach into some of these areas around this very rural county. So we're putting this back up again here, getting ready to go out into zone 2. Now, if you remember from the previous video, this is the zone that has the creek crossing. Nice little creek crossing, not huge or anything, but again, when you look at that, and you'll see a short clip of that creek crossing later in this video, just keep in mind the cars have to go through that. It's not too big a deal for a truck to go through it, but the race cars have to go through there, and I'm sure with some amount of speed even. So we set up net control, went out into the county, went over to the area where this leg and segment of the races was going to take place, and we set up the crossband repeater in its sort of regular location. We wanted to retest this because it's been struggling a little bit. Now, one of the things that we have to always remind ourselves, now that we're doing this for the 3rd year, is we always get out and start scoping things out and testing things early. The race is in late April. But the only sort of issue with that is that the foliage is not on the trees yet or fully on the ground. The brambles, the bushes and things. So it's nice to be able to get out and move around a little more easily, and you can see better because all the leaves are still down. But we do have to keep in mind that the leaves and all the foliage is going to dampen down the signals. So if you're getting a weak signal already, that's not a great thing. So we retested that previous location, and again, it's okay, but it's not optimum, and it never has been. And so now that we have these kits, and they're much, much lighter than they were the first 2 years. The first 2 years, we were using sealed lead acid batteries. Those things weighed, 80 some odd pounds, and we were not considering lugging those things up a hillside or a mountain. That's why all of our sites were right off the road. This year, we've got these nice new portable kits. You can see Joss has that big backpack on. It's got one of the crossband repeater kits in there with the LiFePo 4 battery. And so we've taken the time and the effort, especially Josh, who's really been a big help, lugging things around and encouraging us to, hey, let's hike up the hill, hike up the mountain and see what's up there. And so we showed you the other location, which is an awesome location for Zone 3. In Zone 3, we now only have to have one crossband repeater, whereas the last 2 years we had to have 2 crossband repeaters to try to cover it. Well, this is Zone 2, and again, this is a tough one as well. And so again, we went out there, and some of the guys hiked up another mountain, another hill, and to at least look around and see, would there be, a better location. Now, this hike and a couple of guys, Josh and Brian, both had looked at this on Google Maps and things and said, hey, well, there is a pretty good hill that's probably going to be pretty good, but it's a little more of a hike. The Zone 3 location, that's only 10 minutes, maybe to get up the side of that hill there. This one is probably at least 20 minutes, 25. Now, for real hikers, that's really not a big deal. And as always, the camera doesn't do it justice. This section right here is getting a little bit steeper, and it's just raw countryside, right? It's not an actual trail. You can see there's just limbs and leaves, and again, the underbrush is not filled in yet. But they took the trouble. They walked up this hill, this mountain, and found a pretty good location for this zone as well. Now, I think we're still going to end up using 2 crossband repeaters for zone 2, but this is a better location for one of them, a much better location. And that's what we want. We want to get things to where we have good, solid communications for the start and the end of each leg, but also we want to cover as much of the entire leg segment as we can, which is just a real challenge with all the folds of the hills and mountains here in this area. And this is going to help us do that. It gives us better communications for the start and the finish, but also helps us reach into at least a few more of the folds. Now, again, at the top of that hill in zone 3 that we showed you previously, we get into most of the folds along the entire segment for that one. That one's an awesome location. This one is still really good, and it's still better than where we had been placing the crossband repeaters. So we're just kind of showing the trek up the hill again. This was a longer trek than the other one, and again, the good and the bad with it being still very early spring is the foliage hasn't really come in, but you can sort of also get a feel for how it looks like somebody slipped a little bit there. You can get a feel for just, again, these are not trails. This is just raw countryside. Not the most horrible thing in the world, but again, HAMRadio folks are not always out running around the countryside like this. But for this event and for what we were interested in trying to do and help out, we deemed it was worth the effort. So you can see we're getting up to the top of this, and you don't have a great view because there's some more trees here, but still, you can tell you're kind of up on top. We had a brief view right there, and when you look out in the distance, you can see almost 360 degrees from the top of this hill. And it'll help us. There's a decent view to the horizon there. So you see there's not too many taller hills in the area. So that's why we're doing this. And again, the fact that we've consolidated down into these much lighter crossband repeater kits in these hard cases from Harbor Freight is helping us do this. They're easier to transport. They're easier to literally pack in or out. The batteries are so much smaller and lighter. Those other batteries were, I think, 105 amp hour, which is way overkill. But with sealed lead acid batteries, of course, you can really only use about half of that. Here you can see, again, this is, I was down in the truck with one of our members, Howard, and you can see this is that creek. We showed you last time. So just kind of refreshing your memory there. And it's especially a part of this, about half of this leg is a pretty rough trail. The cars really have to work for it on this one. So again, we just wanted to try to really nail down having the communications for this as best as we can. The race has run the last couple of years, and it was it was okay, but we strive to make it even better. Plus, it's just a lot of fun for us to get out here and try to solve problems, try to overcome adversities, because in real-time emergencies, you're going to be doing this kind of stuff, usually not with beautiful days. Now, we've been so lucky. We've had beautiful days every time we've gone out for testing. We're really getting nervous about race day this year. Not to jinx it, because we've had good weather the last 2 years on race day. We hope we have good weather again this year, but we really are kind of wondering because we've had such fantastic weather the days we've gone out for testing. But here you can see Josh was just doing a little bit of clearing out here, just on dead trees, down trees, just to make the trek back later on easier. And here you can see we've kind of set up again. And this is what's so nice with these drive-on masks that we created for various events and things. And we can use them and reuse them. And these crossband repeater kits, we can use and reuse for other events. In fact, we already have used them for other events. There you can see Mike, KD6FTR. Here, they're on the way back down. You can see Josh got the pack again. We did the testing. It was successful. They're on the way back. And so we feel quite confident this year that all 3 zones are in good shape. Our crossband repeaters are working very well. Again, it really helps to split your transmit and receive across 2 different radios. A lot of mobile radios can do crossband repeat, but everything happens on one radio. and it's just a lot more stress and heat and things. And these are commercial radios to boot. So we're in good shape. We're getting ready for the race. We've got a few more things we want to nail down, but I think primarily testing out in the field is pretty much done at this point. So we'll start to wrap this one up, folks. Again, look for opportunities to interact in your community for events like this. We do runs and walks and all kinds of things. We've done Jeep trail rides and things like that in a very similar area, in fact. So this is Chris, KY4CKP for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. Enjoy your radio, enjoy the hobby, and we'll see you folks in the next video, 73.